If you remember back 2 videos ago, I showed you 2 Farmall H's. One was a narrow front that I had a little bit of knowledge of based on the fact that it was at an auction. And then there was a wide front with an original OEM IHC international wide front from the factory. Let's go check out the one that you decided I needed to buy. Boom! All right, and here it sits, and you can see the back end's tilted down a little bit because I backed it off the driveway. I'm right on the drive. I have a circle driveway down here, and wanted it out of the way so I could get around it. But just for video purposes, we'll do just a brief review of this. Now, a lot of people mention the front end, and this is the tractor about 85% of you selected for me to buy, and I'm super glad you did, because this is the one I always wanted anyway. That is an OEM IHC original front end. Now, it's a Farmall H. As you can see right there on the side, it says H. The H's and the M's came narrow front, tricycle front. This was a dealer option. It's still original though. A lot of things were options, but this seems to be the coolest, because back then a lot of guys ran tricycle fronts. Now, I had a lot of people tell me, well, I like my trike front because, you know, I can turn on a dime and give you 9 cents back, and that's great and all, but, you know, when you're plowing, you get it caught down in the furrow. If you're on a hillside, it gets a little dicey, you know. A lot of guys tip them narrow fronts, and, you know, the term I use, pushing daisies. But so far what I found is I'm gonna probably need a tune-up on this. New battery, and you'll hear it when I start it. Of course, it probably won't sound dead when I go to start it, since you're all going to be watching and looking and listening. Now you can tell this was worked, you know, just by the tow bar. No big deal. I can even replace that. And but it did come with a set of hydraulic remotes, which I found to be thrilling, at least for my part. And the previous owner, what he did, he put his own little valve system or kit in here, and I like this. I really do. The pull rods there, I'll show you on the M here in another video. I'm going to do a couple part series on this tractor just to get you all introduced to it before I take it to the field. I bought this tractor again so that I could pull a 2-bottom Little Genius number 8, and I think it'll do a good job. Now, having said that, let's talk about these rear skins. Okay, these rear skins are 11 238s. They are not loaded, and you can see clearly there's no rear weights. And I just did a video on dish out or dish in, and obviously this is out and there are no skins. So H Turbo, you should be tickled, I would say pink, but really you should be tickled IH Red 2150 about the fact that they're dish out. And I do like the looks of them, no doubt, but I think honestly I'm going to put a bigger set than the 11 2s on here. At least go like, say, 12 6s and load them. I'll probably put one weight there on the rim itself, the wheel itself. But in reality, I like loaded tires better because it's a lot easier on the axles. And from my experience plowing and doing field work, loaded tires do a lot better than, you know, just wheel weights alone. So I'm gonna stack the deck on that for sure. Everything looks pretty good. It's tight. You know, the seat, it doesn't have a pad on it, and I will be buying one to put on there. Good heavy cables here. Like I said, the battery's junk. I'll be replacing that more than likely this week. There is one weld right here, okay, and chances are I may just end up replacing that rod. Now, I'm not, if here's the thing, everybody makes a big deal about welds, and in the reality they can be an issue, but if you know what you're doing and you do a good job welding, it can hold like new. So that's that. Everything's looking good on this side here. I am going to do a tune-up on this. That's going to require plugs, plug wires, I may switch this over to an electronic ignition. More than likely I will. I did my M and I love it. If I do, I'll do a video doing that. Starter looks like it's seen better days, but sometimes you just can't judge a book by the cover. Either way, again, I'm really digging this setup, this hydraulic setup. I will not hook up the hydraulics as of yet to test them out, whether they can lift and lower, say, the set of discs, the 370s. Not that I would use the 370s on this H, because I wouldn't. What I'm looking for is maybe a set of, I don't know, 8s, maybe 10s. I would be willing to pull 10s once these are loaded and the discs themselves on the 10-foot discs are, say, 18 inches. But I think 8-footers on this would be rocking. But again, I'm not gonna test the hydraulic system until I flush it, put Hy-Tran in it, so I don't cross-contaminate the rest of my stuff here on the farm. I'm gonna do an oil change, and I know, you know, painted it long before I did all the oil changes and stuff, but I just couldn't stand looking at it and its work clothes anymore. So there you go. There is some dry rot here. You know, some of the little knobbies are still showing, but there is a little bit of dry rot, or I call it dry rot. Oh, heaven forbid I call it dry rot. Let's go with weather checked, you know, weather checking. But tons and tons of tread on there, you know, so, but I just think, you know, need some bigger skins for this sucker. And I will be pulling a grain drill with it. We're just gonna have a lot of fun with it this year, that's all I can tell. Pretty satisfied. Let's get this thing fired up. Of course, it'll probably start like it's supposed to now. All right, do the handshake. Turn it on, hit the button. Oh, of course. Of course. You know, you're sick and you go to the doctor, and then when you're sitting there, you're not sick anymore, so. Pulled the choke out, see what that would do. Sounds pretty good for needing a tune-up. And I just put about 5 gallons of non-ethanol in it. The other thing I like to do is, you know, when I just get a new tractor in general, new to me tractor, I like to throw some seafoam in it. You know, seafoam is like a gum out, dry gas combination, all in one. I've had a lot of luck with seafoam.